Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fire Warrior. I'm still Niggeroth. I have a new special guest here with me. It's Orca Ninja?
Ninja Orca.
Ninja Orca. I'm dyslexic today.
It's all good.
Yeah, so he's joining me for probably the longest level, or at least the second longest level in the game. And it's mostly cafeterias and kitchens.
Yeah. With maybe a furnace or two in there.
Yeah, this... as we were watching the video before, we were trying to figure out, the actual level structure of this entire place, and it's not going to make a lot of sense, as you'll see as we progress through.
Looks like a schizophrenic got a hold of ship-making plans.
Yeah, especially since, they're sunk in the ground there. That's weird.
Yep.
But, to further progress into this ship, they had the switch located in the cafeteria, or the kitchen. That just doesn't make security sense in the long run.
Yeah. Maybe the chef's like a kung fu master or something, and he'll protect that switch with his life.
Also, it's like a combination of like captain's quarters and maybe kitchen.
Yeah,
there was just
or like it's like the Nazi submarines in Medal of Honor Frontline, where you had the chef who would just throw cleavers at you.
So there's a mini boss somewhere in there.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, normally this particular room would be kind of an ambush point. Basically, a set of two guardsmen will come from each of the cardinal directions, I suppose. And it ends up being kind of a lackluster ambush, not only because you have two support guys, but also because I don't want to call it foreshadowing, because it's basically them saying, hey, there's going to be an ambush here. But they're like, oh, these Imperium are so crafty.
They're basically telegraphing it about as hard as they can.
Yeah. And, what's obviously near the kitchen is the massive library.
Well, you grab a bite to eat, go do some light reading. Average day in the life of an Imperial Guardsman.
I would hope it's so, illustrious, but I don't think it's that nice.
Yeah.
And there's a nice little physics bug.
Yep.
I honestly sometimes forget this game even has physics.
The game probably did too at some point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was before Havoc, and I think that's the only physics engine.
The only one of any consequence, anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I try to make sure and look at a few of the interesting, well laid out textures in this room, such as, the commandment book and the big pictures of Space Marines. I think in later stages we get a closer look at that particular Space Marine portrait. Maybe somebody can identify him then. Maybe.
Be on your guard.
I love that right there. Be on your guard, and you empty an entire clip in his back, and then his buddies don't even notice.
Yeah, I would assume his screams of pain after he was taken down probably would have ended off, but yeah, they don't have a lot of situational awareness. That's a word for it.
Yeah, that'll get you killed.
Yeah, and apparently some of the damage from, I guess, the Tau attack is being shown. It's not very well shown. It's more that's pretty much it. That wreckage back there.
Yep, let's crawl into the furnace. That can't possibly be a bad idea.
Oh, you got the foreshadowing of the game.
Yeah. Ooh, I wonder what all this blood could possibly mean.
Oh, that sounds like the writing from Dead Space.
Yeah.
God, the lights are flickering and the door is locked. What's gonna happen?
Is it a surprise party?
It is. All my childhood surprise parties were accented by strobe lights.
Yeah.
Caused mild epilepsy, but
that explains a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, thankfully, the furnace is led into the morgue, and the morgue might have been filled up with Tau corpses. Maybe it's experiments that Cerberus was conducting.
Oh yeah.
Since he seems so keen on getting a hold of towels.
True.
Guys, do you see those?
But yeah, this is we've already run into turrets in an earlier level, but this time turrets are pretty much the same. I was gonna say they're more dangerous, but they're honestly the same. The real danger here is the inclusion of more Space Marines. I know Space Marines have been showing up somewhat in previous levels, but they start to become more of a common enemy from now on. Not
is
really
there
smart.
any differences to their coloration? Like, does the color mean something, or you know what I mean?
Colors are normally denoting of a chapter.
Ah.
So these guys, I think, these guys, since they're kind of blue, are probably... Or no, I'm sorry. They are actually still Raptor Marines. I don't know if it might be easy for you to tell. Sometimes you can see on, I think, their left shoulder, there's kind of like a head symbol. And that head, I think, is supposed to be like a bird.
Like a hawk's head?
Yeah. I think there's probably like 30 or 40 Space Marine chapters now. There used to only be like 13, but they decided to start making like a lot of splinter groups because people like the color.
Yeah.
And usually the colors and symbols denote chapter. So I think probably in the next 2 or 3 levels they'll start to introduce the one other chapter in the game. It's just that their color is blue. And these guys right now are kind of like blue-green, so it's really hard to tell.
And if I remember, what I do remember correctly, the blue is the Ultramarines, right?
Yeah, they're basically the generic go-to good guys. Well,
as good as the Imperium of Man can get.
They do not have any, real psychoses. I'll say that.
Good start.
Yeah, I mean, I think their Primarch is named like Robert Guillaume or Roberto Guillaume, something like that.
Yeah.
But basically, and I set off security. I'm fucking awesome at that. But basically, but there was a thing called the Horus Heresy. Do you know what that is?
Wasn't that where one of the Primarchs, Horus, betrayed the Emperor? And that set up the whole Golden Throne situation.
Yeah, that's basically where the Emperor died, and they split off into either being chaos or being dead, pretty much. But yeah, basically, what one of the main problems during that, or that became an evident problem, was that Space Marine chapters at that time didn't really have limits. So there could be an entire planet that was like a Space Marine chapter.
Uh-huh.
And, it was just kind of whatever. After the Horus Heresy, when it became evident, like, yeah, we can't really have entire planets of Space Marines that could kill us. So, the Primarch of the Ultramarine chapter, who was like one of the 3 that somehow survived, he basically came up with this book that laid down... It's basically the codex of the Space Marines that basically say, like, you can't have more than these many members. And
after something like, hey, we killed the Emperor and we almost tore the Imperium apart, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. What's really odd is when people... I've heard some theories out there that say that if the Horus Heresy actually fully succeeded, like it didn't already, it actually would have saved the galaxy and destroyed chaos, because, and I don't know how much of this is just crazy nerd Spurgeon, but apparently if Horus has succeeded and not died, he would have been so racked with guilt that he would have then went on to destroy chaos. So instead, now the Imperium is ruled by a cadaver and it's basically like going to shit
Yeah.
because the horse heresy actually failed. So it's kind of got locked into a dark age because they won.
Yeah.
So, but then again, that could just be really reading into a really bad fanfic or something.
Yeah, true. Because what else are you going to do if you're, when you've got a setup like this?
Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of explain why these. Yeah, I don't know why this guy's just popped in. I've tried not to go too fast through these levels because usually that's why that stuff occurs.
Right.
But I was going at a pretty good pace, and I think any other times I was playing through, like no matter what, those guys would just kind of pop in.